I literally just realized, oh my God, I am having a midlife crisis. Hey guys, what's up? So today I want to talk about the midlife crisis because I just realized that I've been having one, and I think I'm toward the end. But to be honest, I've known all these changes and all these things I've been going through for a while seemed midlife crises sort of ish. It was like, and like people would mention, like, are you having a midlife crisis? And jokingly, like, I'd be like, yeah, haha. But I didn't really think I was having a midlife crisis because to me, a crisis is like chaotic and crazy, right? So, and this has been more of a transition over a long period of time. But once I started looking into what is a midlife crisis, I realized a lot of the symptoms that they have, that they say that you could have, I've definitely experienced in the last like 6 years. So I was like, I literally just realized, oh my God, I am having a midlife crisis. So I figured, why not share? Because, it's helpful. So I want to start off by giving you the definition of a midlife crisis. And I'm going to use Wikipedia for this. It says, a midlife crisis is a transition of identity and self-confidence that can occur in middle-aged individuals, typically 45 to 64. The phenomenon is described as a psychological crisis brought about by events that highlight a person's growing age or inevitable mortality and a possible lack of accomplishments in life. This may produce feelings of intense depression, remorse, and high levels of anxiety, or the desire to achieve youthfulness, make drastic changes in their current lifestyle, or change past decisions and events. So as I was kind of jotting down and going through like what I've been through in the last 6 years, I was like, oh, so all these like things that I've been doing, like van life and moving and separating and divorcing, and I think they're all a part of what I guess they describe as a midlife crisis, even though it doesn't technically feel like a crisis to me. It feels like what I've been telling people is that I feel like life is a journey and I'm just trying to figure it out. But I didn't really realize that I was trying to figure out this time period that I'm in and that it's, described as a midlife crisis. But anyway, so what I have learned is that there are symptoms of a midlife crisis. I found a pretty good article from, have you ever heard of the Calm app? It's like a meditation app. I really love it. They have a good article that I'll link below, and they list off like what are the signs of a midlife crisis. Number one, increased anxiety, restlessness, dissatisfaction with life, a desire for significant life changes can also be a symptom of a midlife crisis. If you hear that, that's Milo like chewing a piece of wood behind me. Hopefully it's not too annoying. So then there are also 3 main phases that they describe. There's actually like some websites say there's 5 phases. Some of them broke it down into an easier 3. I'm just going to go with that one. So at the beginning of a midlife crisis, there might be a trigger, something that triggers this midlife crisis or these symptoms to come on. Then there's going to be this search for truth or search for meaning in your life. And then toward the end, there's going to be acceptance. Milo, please. So my personal experience, like I said, started about 6 years ago. I had realized that, Riley was going away to college and I needed to figure out what this next phase of my life was going to be. I'm also a younger mother, and so I feel like I have a lot more years to live. And so I don't know if that adds to like the pressure of like, oh my gosh, this is really important to figure this out. Plus I kind of make everything a big deal in life. But anyway, so one of the first things that I did, which is so typical, and this was probably the first time when people were like midlife crisis, I bought a Jeep Wrangler. So I had always wanted a Jeep Wrangler, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm finally getting it. So that was the first thing I did. My daughter went away to college, and that November I wanted a puppy, and so we got a puppy, but we didn't just get one puppy. We brought home two puppies, brothers. And that definitely like kept me busy for that whole first, next year or two of taking care of two puppies. I don't recommend, but we did it. Then the next thing was talking about the separation with my husband, because I knew that I hadn't been happy for many years. We didn't seem to have much in common anymore. We weren't working toward the same goals. And plus the Trump election was coming up, and there was some issues there with us. And so I finally decided, like, look, I need to get separation from you so that I can figure out what I really want. I actually started therapy at the same time. So when I went to the therapist, it was like, these are the things that I'm concerned about right now. Number one, my daughter's going away to college and I'm going to be an empty nester. Number two, I'm not happy in my marriage. Number three, I'm not happy in my career. I don't love it, and I need to, figure out how to make myself happier in it. Because my daughter was going to a college where I got tuition reduction, so I knew that I was going to need to be there for like another 4 years. So I wanted to figure out, like, okay, well, how do I make this better than if I have to be there? And then number four was like religion. I just felt like I was brought up Christian. I felt like I should be feeling like I should be Christian, but I didn't feel Christian, and that was stressing me out. Like, I don't want to go to hell. So that was another thing that I kind of wanted to work on. So then, Craig and I sold the house that we were living in that he had been remodeling for a long time, and I bought my own house. So I'm just going to kind of go through like the timeline of the things that I did during, now that I'm looking back and realizing like I made a lot of major changes. So when we separated, we sold the house, we split the earnings, I bought a house, and that really only lasted about 7 months before we got back together. Sold that house, we moved, we bought another house together. During that time, I started Gatherwood Adventures, this company online where I wanted to encourage women to get outdoors. I felt at that point, it was like, I need more adventure in my life. I need more fun. I love being outside. I want to create this like basically circle of women who also feel the same way. But I also I've always had this drive to like inspire women to build the life that they love and not feel stuck where they're at. And so I kind of wanted to put this all together into Gatherwood Adventures. I started working on that, the branding, putting the website together. I was designing shirts and selling shirts. So I was working on that. I quit my job because it had become super toxic. My daughter graduated college, and it was time that I was like, I do not want to work here anymore. It's stressing me out super bad. She no longer needed my tuition reduction, so I'm like, I'm out. I started doing freelancing for clients that I would find like on Upwork, and some local people that I knew. And then we sold that house and moved into one of Craig's rentals. He wanted to fix that up, and it's also very like centrally located in the town that we lived in, and so we loved the location. So we were like, all right. So the house that we had originally just last bought, we lasted there like a year and a half. Then we moved to this other house. Started working on that one. He remodeled the whole inside, like ripped out the inside and put on a second floor, and or I should say started finishing the attic area. But so there was a lot of work that he was doing, and I was building my business, my freelancing business. Then our relationship, we weren't focusing on it. We weren't doing anything about it. We were saying that we should, and we knew that we should be doing something, but we didn't. So we weren't watering the plants, if you will. And they were withering, and we were getting on each other's nerves. And we finally like got into this one argument where we were just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like too hard. We both have like a lot of things from the past that we had held on to with anger, and we weren't even sure we liked each other. And we're just like, I don't want to try anymore. You just get literally exhausted to where you're just like, this doesn't even feel worth it. So we decided to again separate, but this time we were like, all right, well, we're getting divorced because not going to keep doing this. I'm not the type of person to go back and forth, back and forth. I didn't think I was. Okay, so that house he had bought, he was paying for all the materials and things to like remodel it. He was doing all the work in remodeling it. I was not going to take that from him or take half of it from him or anything. So I decided that I was moving out, and if I was going to move out, I didn't want to live in Pennsylvania. I wanted to be somewhere warmer. So I was like, that's it. Then I'm just going to go get an apartment outside of Charlotte near friends of mine that live down here, and I'm just going to do this. And everybody was really super shocked, like my friends and my kids and even Craig. They were like, what are you doing? Which it shouldn't have been that big of a surprise because I've been talking about moving south for decades. But I don't know that they ever thought I'd actually do it, and especially on my own. But I was like, well, when you know something you don't want, which was an apartment in Erie, and then you just try something new. And so it just really felt right. Like I really felt drawn to do this. It felt comfortable to me. I thought I don't know. I can't really explain, except that it's been really a great move for me, and I knew that it was. I have been networking, making new friends down here. Oh, I also forgot that the time that we were in the house that he was remodeling, that's when I started looking into van life as well, because I just was feeling this need to like get away. And so I started looking at van life, and I thought that seemed like a perfect kind of an exit to where I didn't have to exit the relationship, but I could get away. So I started looking into van life. I remodeled with Craig helped me remodel this old van, and I have a whole video, a video on that I will also share with you below. That was kind of another sign that you're going through midlife crisis, is like, I need something different. I need adventure, right? And then I also got another puppy because he was going to be my travel buddy. So this is at the point where I got Milo. That was a little over a year ago. And I got him because the other two dogs that we have, they don't really leave the house. They have a lot of anxiety, and they're not really great in public. So I wanted one that I could take anywhere with me. So then I adopted Milo. He was going to be, like I said, my travel buddy, but turns out he hates being in a vehicle and he hates traveling. So, oh, you just never know. Since I've been down in Charlotte, I actually started Wild Tribe Creative, which is, I'm basically just formalizing what I've been doing freelance. Now Craig and I are at a point where we are actually discussing, like, we're getting back together. We're going to do things differently this time, and we just really love each other. When it comes down to it, we don't want to live without each other, and I think this separation has actually helped that to really, really let us see that. So I'm super excited about this next phase. I'm actually going to be moving back to Pennsylvania. We are eventually going to get some land in North Carolina or South Carolina and build a cabin is kind of like the thought right now. Or buy a house that's like, he's always wanted to redo like a Victorian home. So there will be something in the South for us for sure. But for right now, I'm going to head back there and continue just actually working on our relationship and making it one that we're really enjoying being in. We've been together for a very long time, and we just really love each other, and we don't want to be with anyone else. And I mean, that's an amazing thing, right? And I feel super lucky to have that. So all of this just to say that has been my experience with the midlife crisis. The last phase, so basically the trigger was my daughter was going away to college, right? And that was making me feel this empty nest. And then I went through empty nest and all of the things that I did to change. And all this time I've been searching for the truth of who I am and what I want to accomplish before I die, basically. What kind of like memories do I want people to have of me? And then the third phase is acceptance. And I have come to realize that there are things I'm accepting. I'm accepting that I am not going to be able to see everything in the world before I die. I'm not going to be able to do and experience everything. Where I would say a few years ago, I really kind of like thought, okay, I'm going to do all 50 states before I'm 50, and I want to travel abroad, and I want to do all these things. And it was stressing me out that I was like, how am I actually really going to do this? And now I think I'm come to this phase where it's like I've accepted that I'm not going to be able to do everything, but I'm going to make a list and make sure that, I have a realistic bucket list of places I want to visit and go see them and plan out the trips, but work on my relationship with Craig and obviously my children as well. And so some of the other things that I've noticed is that I've accepted like dying. I used to be I had so much anxiety and so afraid of anything that might kill me. And now I don't know, I'm at this phase where I'm just kind of like, oh, when it happens, it happens. I mean, I feel like I raised my kids and they're good people and they're doing good things. And I'm like, I mean, that kind of feels like that was the most important part of my life at this point. And I think it always will. And so I've accepted that if I were to die tomorrow, I'd be pretty happy with what I've achieved. Hopefully that doesn't happen because I have other things I want to do. But I have accepted that I love Craig and he loves me, and we just have to be together, but we have to figure out how we can do that. So we may live in separate spaces. I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. Come here, buddy. I also am figuring out that I love being with my kids. I'm welcoming any time that I get with them, but I'm also learning to develop other relationships, which everyone will tell you that when you first start going through empty nest, they're like, it's going to be fine. You're going to like start hanging out with your friends more. You just got to make new friends, blah, blah, blah. And that's not what I wanted to hear because I didn't want that. I just wanted to be a mom. I wanted the mom to continue. And that's what I knew. That's what I loved doing. That other stuff, you can tell people that, but it's probably not going to make them feel better. But I'm at the point now where it's like I've accepted that they are their own grown adults. They are out doing their thing. And I am now feeling comfortable and happy to be building new relationships with other women my age and doing things, out there paddleboarding with groups of people. And so that feels amazing. Come here, baby. I'm almost done. I swear. Almost done. I knew this was going to be kind of tough. It's like it's 4 o'clock. So it's about his time to be like, you should be done working. Let's go. I swear I got like 3 more points to get through. Okay, so I am finally building the career that I want with being able to work from home and working with clients. I love it, and I'm super happy to be doing this. I'm loving this YouTube thing that I'm doing. I'm really enjoying that. And so yeah, that's definitely something that I feel so good about, and I'm going to continue doing. I have accepted the fact that I'm spiritual and not necessarily religious, and I'm not afraid. So I don't think I'm going to go to hell. I know other people might think that, but to each his own. If it happens, it happens, but I feel pretty comfortable with my belief in God, and I feel, I don't know. I believe in God, and I feel spiritual, and I'm totally comfortable with that. I realize that the things that I need, which is I need space, I need freedom, sunshine, warmth, I need outdoor air, exercise, sleep, water, I need connection, and love. And so I know that sounds like a huge list of needs, but in reality, it's just the thing that's going to guide the decisions that I make sure that the decisions that I make going forward are working towards the things that I really feel like I need in my life. So some of the ways that you can deal with going through a midlife is recognizing and accepting your feelings. I talked about this in one of the other videos, is that I've become really good at realizing what I'm feeling, and then actually acknowledging those feelings is really important. Oh, you're biting my hand, buddy. What things can you change in your life and or control, and what can you not control? So you can't control other people, you can't change other people, but you can change yourself, and you can control the things that you're doing. So that's another thing. Think about that. What brings you joy and fulfillment? I did another video with Rachel Hopkins, and it was an interview with her, and we talked about how to bring more joy into your life. Set goals, and make sure that they're SMART goals. If you don't know what that is, just look up SMART goals. You want to make sure that they are specific, measurable. Yeah, I'm not going to name off all the other things, but definitely make sure that they're achievable also as well, but push yourself too. And connect with others. So like I said, I started going paddleboarding with people I didn't know, and now I know them and I think they're amazing people. I went hiking yesterday with a few people that I did not know. I mean, these are all brand new people to me, and I really enjoyed that. It just really makes me feel like my life is being fulfilled. Doing the things that I love, meeting new people, and forming relationships. Self-care, so make sure that you are eating well, sleeping well, napping if you need naps. Don't feel guilty about that. Meditate. So I love meditation apps. For me, like daily, I like to meditate, which actually leads into a nap, which they say you're not supposed to do, but I do it and I feel better. So there you go. And then, yeah, seek help if you need it. So like I said, I got therapy. You also could look into a life coach if you're feeling like you don't really need therapy, but you want to move forward with your life. You're just not sure how, and maybe talking to somebody can help you see things that you might not see yourself. So, all right, Milo is really ready to get outside and go for a walk. So I've got to take him outside. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I hope that you've enjoyed this. If so, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so that you see my next video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Good boy.